Hey everyone, how are we all doing? I hope you can enjoy the echo in my flat. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do. Gonna figure out with my editor how to decrease that a little bit. I know there are some options on Adobe, so your boy's gonna get better at editing through necessity and because I want to. Today's video, we're going to talk about monk mode because I've had some personal experience with this over the last few months. I'm sure many guys have during these COVID times. I'm sure that monk mode, the idea of going into this period of being where you focus very much on a few particular goals and get rid of the more social and dating aspects of your life just so you can really knuckle down and focus. I'll go through my recent experience because I have basically for the first time since I started the self-improvement journey decided to go into monk mode, made a conscious decision. It was around, November. So I came back to my home in around September time due to having to leave Australia because of COVID reasons. I came back. England was not in full lockdown, so I decided to try and make the best of it. I was still living at home, but I wanted to date, I wanted to meet girls, I wanted to try and have as much of a normal social life as I was having in Australia when COVID wasn't happening. Trying to make the best of the situation, see what I could do and get away with. It wasn't the most rewarding experience. I found logistically living at home and trying to date girls is very difficult. I don't recommend anyone do it. In fact, I usually tell guys to move out of their parents' house. They have no reason to be there, but I was, for a brief period, taking advantage of my family letting me stay there. And I was also getting work through my family, so I didn't want to move away before I had made a little bit of money as well, because I came back a little bit low on money. So I had some reasons. It's bad not to follow your own advice, but it was always a short-term temporary thing. And now we've reached the point where I went through what I said I would do and fixed my situation and I moved out. But I've been intending to always move out in the new year. Just again, another lockdown got in the way a little bit. So come November, it looked like lockdown was looming again, like a second one. And I decided I was gonna use that lockdown. It was a month, it was the whole of November until the beginning of December. And I decided, right, I'm going to build something. I was already doing the YouTube, so I had to do daily YouTube content. So I was like, I'm gonna build a website and I'm going to do as much work as I can so the launch goes ahead as I want it to. And I did that as soon as lockdown. By the time lockdown ended, which was my deadline date, I had everything ready to go and I launched my website, which I may talk about in the future. That was my first kind of taste. That was my first taste of getting my head down and ignoring everything to build a project that I really cared about. Then the second lockdown came around at the end of December. I had been going to the gym, I'd been getting back out there. I was thinking about like throwing the dating apps on again because I deleted Tinder, I deleted Hinge. And then second lockdown came. And this is the point where I realized if I go back into this kind of like head zone, I have to make it a serious commitment because it's gonna last a few months. And as anyone knows about the UK, we're still currently in lockdown. So I went on the longest focused monk mode I've ever been on. I've never really been in it before. It lasted for 4 months in total. Now we got to February. If we go from the beginning of November to February. I've got some thoughts and some feedback I think I'd give about it. I don't know how great this would be if you're not experienced in dating. You don't have a lot of dating experiences. You don't have a lot of good experience behind you. Because I think the biggest thing for me was that I'd already had like a lot of like good positive energy in that kind of like my head zone was already fine. Like I'm already pretty relaxed. I know when lockdown ends, I can go out there and get girls. That's not going to be a difficult problem for me. I can understand if someone's a beginner, a newbie, and they were just in the middle of getting their like dating life sorted and getting better socially, that lockdown would hit them like a truck. And then going into monk mode as someone who's not very experienced would have been quite a negative emotional thing to go through. But for me, I had a really chilled, I wasn't thinking about girls at all. I wasn't really thinking about, I did miss my friends. Obviously I miss going to parties, but I did find that I was able to properly focus on work and didn't really care about anything else. The two main things I was doing was trying to lose weight and try to get my like projects going with my YouTube and my website. Now we're going to talk about coming out of it, because in the last 2 weeks I've moved to Manchester, and this is where I officially consider myself out of monk mode. And it's been interesting, like pulling yourself out of that kind of like single-minded focus trying to go back to a more holistic approach to life where you throw the dating apps back on, you consider doing things more social things, more adventurous things. I have a whole new city to explore. You do find yourself pulled in several directions. Thankfully, moved to my own flat. I now have no distractions from my family. I now have my own space to work in. So that's helping me a lot. I've got a lot more time because I don't have to like plan my filming around my family. I don't have to plan, anything around my family at all. And I have my own flat, so obviously inviting girls back over is way easier. Turning Tinder back on. Now that was interesting. If you get out of the groove, I think you're going to find that it's a little bit difficult at first to get back into the groove. I mean, it only took me a couple of days and a bit of back and forth messaging before I kind of remembered how to do it. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. I know how to message on an app, but like all those like insecurities and fears you had when you first ever started online dating kind of come back in a small way when you've been off for a while. So if you've taken a long break from online dating or approaching or anything to do with girls, expect like some of your anxiety to come back at the beginning, but then it will go away fairly quickly when you start having success again and you get back into that rhythm of when you know what to do. It also helps with online dating if you just have a good profile anyway, because you immediately get the validation and the likes and you remember, oh yeah, I know how to do this. I have a good profile. I've done the work. I just need to play the game again and it'll be fine. So right now my goal is to figure out how to achieve the same level of success is the wrong word, output and work output that I had during my monk mode while adding back all the activities I used to do when I wasn't in monk mode. That is my new goal and my new thing to figure out. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it, really. It was interesting coming out of it. It was interesting being in it. It wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. When I told Andy that I was going to knuckle down for a few months and not even think about girls anymore, and not even think about girls for a bit, I thought that was going to be really, really difficult, and it was actually surprisingly chill and easy. So that was surprising. Don't assume that would be like that for you. If it's not during COVID lockdowns, I don't see any reason for new guys to go into monk mode. You guys need to be out there getting experience. If you want girls, you need to be out there trying to get girls. That is the only way you're going to improve. So don't go into monk mode for the wrong reasons, I would say. Especially if you're doing it because you're scared. Don't ever do that. And any of you guys out there who've kind of been through the same thing, I'm sure you might have, understood some of what I've said. Hopefully everyone has got through it and is in a better position now than when they went into monk mode or when they went into lockdown productivity, focus on your goals. All right, that's all I got to say. Peace out.